Hi DIYers, Sterling with Alarm Grid here, and today we're going to show you how to program a 5800 PIR-COM wireless motion detector. Very similar to the 5800 PIR-RES, these are both wireless passive infrared motions. That means they are using passive infrared technology to detect motion, where the -RES is for residential applications. The -COM is for commercial applications. Doesn't mean if you have a business you have to use this, and if you have a home you have to use the residential. In fact, you can mix and match as needed. It just means that this is designed more for commercial applications, whereas the other one's for residential. So this has some added functionality. You have a tamper option, so if the cover was popped you would know. It uses a look down zone so that on the sensor it actually can pick up motion directly under this device. It has an extra lens that you can use, and you can actually swap out the lens on the front, and this is a longer range lens, so you could get longer detection parameters. So basically they're very similar devices. This is just a more advanced motion. Gives you more options, more selectable sensitivity selection, so you can choose exactly how you want this sensor to operate. We'll have other videos on exactly how to set up all the different options for this device, but for now we just want to show you the basic programming of this device. Just like on the 5800 PIR, the one that doesn't have any dash designation, RES or COM, this also does have a low temperature option. So this sensor not only can pick up motion, but it can alert you to low temperature, temperatures below 45 degrees in the home. So basically, to learn this device in, we have a battery. It's already pre-installed, positive to positive, negative to negative, and we have this little pull to connect tab, which once we slide it out, we get our negative connection there, and our sensor's lit up, and every time we wave our hand in front of it, it's picking us up and showing us that it's faulting with the LED. That allows us to temporarily mount it in the position we want, and then walk throughout the room and make sure that no matter where we are, it's picking us up. So if we're up here, if we're down here, each time we move, the motion is activating. So that's how it works even before it's programmed. Now that we know it's operational and the battery is providing power, we can jump into programming by doing security more tools. 4112 is the installer code that we have set as default. And if we go to program, we're in system programming, and now we can program our zone. Every wireless device gets its own zone, and to program a zone, you go into the zones section of programming. We hit the down arrow until we get to the next available new zone, which happens to be zone 24, and we click edit. So to enroll this device, we have to select the serial number, and we can either activate the device with our hand. Because we're in the walk test mode, each activation that we do that lights up this LED learns it in. The first one beeped once, the second one beeped twice and put the serial number in the loop, and the final activation locked it in, and we're set with loop number 1, which is our low sensitivity. Loop number 2 is not selected just by doing this. You actually have a special way to change that loop number using a flashlight, which we'll show you in a different video. In our case, we want the loop number 1. And the next thing we want to select is device type. Very obvious, we want a motion sensor. From there, we choose interior follower. What that means is it's an instant alarm if it's the first device triggered, meaning if no other zone or sensor is activated first, the alarm will go off right away when the motion is active. However, if you enter an entry-exit zone, let's say you walk in from the garage door, which is set with a delay, and you pass through the kitchen on the way to the keypad, therefore, our kitchen motion would alert us and sound the alarm on the way to the keypad. We don't want that. We want it to follow the delay of the door, and therefore, by selecting interior follower, the panel knows that because the delay door was triggered first, that it should also follow a delay on this particular motion. So interior follower is what we want. The key portion of the interior also is that it's an interior device. If we arm the system to stay mode, this motion would not work. If we arm it to away mode, meaning we're leaving the house, then the motion is active. So that's an important distinction. In relation to that, if we hit the down arrow on the L5200 panel, which we didn't have this functionality on the older L5100, you have the option to select arm night. By doing arm night for yes, we actually would have three different ways to arm the system: arm away, arm stay, and arm night stay. Arm away, the motion would be active. Arm stay, because it's interior, the motion would be ignored and would be deactive. But because we have the arm night selected to yes, if we arm to night stay, then this motion would be active, and other motions that don't have the arm night designation would be off. So that allows us to have our home even more secure in the night stay. Because let's assume it like this. In the stay mode, we're going to have free reign in the house. We might be in the basement, attic, living room, bedroom, kitchen. All rooms of the house are fair game. At night stay, we're basically saying everyone's in their room. Maybe we get up to go to the bathroom. Therefore, our hallway motion upstairs, we want to be off. But this motion in the kitchen, no one will go down to the kitchen. And therefore, this motion should still be active. That way, if someone got downstairs and it was because we're in night stay mode, that means they must be a criminal, because the family knows not to go downstairs in night stay, and it just gives you a third way to arm the system to be a little more secure. So that's a cool feature that the Lynx Touch L5200 offers. The Vista panels could always do that, but the first version of the Lynx Touch, the L5100, could not. So that is a very important designation. It's highlighted down here. If you never knew about that, take a look, and you could actually set up your motions that way. From there, we have the option for alarm report. That's a toggle option, yes or no. Yes means that an alarm from this sensor will send through to the central station and cause an alarm at the central station. If you were set for alarm report no, then the central station would not get the signal when this was active. Chime is disabled. You always want it disabled. You don't want motions activating a chime. And then finally, supervision. This means it will supervise and look for this device every 12 hours. If the panel doesn't see a serial number or a device with that particular serial number, it means the sensor's out of range, means there's interference between the device and the panel, or it means there's a problem with this device. So a supervised device is checked every 12 hours and would alert you to an issue with that device in advance of when you need it to work. So we always recommend on any protection zone that you set it to be supervised. We save our selection. We put our cover back on our detector. Mounts with this lens down. And if I turn it away from me, we can test it. So right now we're ready to arm. And motion in the back of the room there just faulted the device. If we're all still, we're back to ready to arm. As soon as I wave my hand, we get the fault. So this shows you that the light's lighting up and indicating the fault position on the panel. If we turn it around, then we're ready to arm because no motion is active. So now we know that our 5800 PIR-COM motion detector has been properly enrolled to our Lynx Touch L5200 system. And we certainly hope you've enjoyed this video. We invite you to subscribe to our channel, and if you have any questions on your Honeywell wireless security system or your Honeywell 5800 PIR-COM motion, please email us support@alarmgrid.com.